line in my hood, nigga.
And there's the kickoff. The kickoff has been kicked and it's been caught. Now he's running down the field. He's on the 20-yard line. Now he's down to the 30. Now he's going to make his way. He's about to get started. Oh, he's down to the 40. And he's still running down to the 50. And he's going on the other side. He's down the 40-yard line. Now he's down to the 30. Now he's down to about the 20. And he's almost there to about the 10. Oh, he's getting a little tight down the 5-yard line. And then, as you know, he is stopped at the 1-yard line. Oh, my God. Stopped at the 1-yard line.
Oh, damn. Take that shit.
Yo, tape all that, man.
He's down already. He's down. Take that shit. Take that shit. Hold on.
That's my man.
Hold on. I can't do that. Fuck is that doing? Put your hands back. What's that?
Yo, what up, niggaz? It's your buddy Philko here. Camera's running out of battery. Might have to run and plug it in during the video. And what you just saw was some, Brooklyn dudes going in. This was, I don't know when this was. I think this video is like 3 years old. What you see in this video is, of course, a young black man running away from the police. He shook one officer, and I think the detective tried to grab him from the side, and he fell, and his buddies and whatever were cheering him on and all this stuff. Then they approached the body, not the body, sorry, he's still alive. Then they approached him as the police got him down, tried to protect him because the police were going a little overboard, and then the guy without mace, they all ran away, and the one gay guy holding the camera, he sound gay to me. He was like, oh, fuck that, and then they just ran away. Now in this video, I want to speak about how people in the hood, because I'm a product of the hood, people who born and raised in the hood, but more specifically, the people from the hood who don't go to college. A lot of us, we lack creativity with what we do in life. We definitely lack creativity. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. The problem is, well, there's two problems. The one main problem is a lot of us just get a job and we're satisfied with that. We're comfortable having a job. We're just comfortable like, yeah, I got a job, I can make money, I can buy this, can buy that, whatever. I work, hang out, work, hang out, work, hang out. We don't aim to do more. So it's like, a lot of other people I know, especially ones who aren't from the hood, always have some extracurricular things going on. And it's usually something very different than the other people in their area. You understand? So like in the hip-hop community, in the black community, what do we usually do when we want to do extracurricular activities, extracurricular whatever? What do we do when we do something on the side? It's rapping, writing lyrics, making beats, maybe shooting music videos for somebody. It's things that almost everybody in our neighborhood, they do it already. I think a lot of us lack creativity. I don't know if it's out of fear or it could be because a lot of people try to shut down and make people feel guilty for being different. It's like somebody in the hood who hangs out with a lot of people who just like them. He just like them, but let's say one day he just comes wearing a spike bracelet. No one else wears spike bracelets like that. He just wears a spike bracelet, but he's just like everyone else. And then they'll start saying, oh my nigga, what, you think you're a white boy now? Or you trying to be a hardcore rocker? Like, what are you doing with this spike bracelet on? Ha ha ha, crack crack, joke joke joke. And they'll try to get them speaking different, or if someone speaks differently. Even if someone tries to use big words or something or pronounce their words properly, people try to check them on that. Like, oh, you different. You're being different. Like, what is this? You being a white boy, or you think you are, or whatever it may be. Because I went through this shit growing up. So I know I'm not the only one who goes through this, who went through this. As a kid, I always spoke properly. I mean, I didn't use perfect grammar, but there were still some things like, I wouldn't say that they said in my household because the grammar was just terrible. Like, I hated when people would use "you stay." Like, for example, like when I played Street Fighter with somebody, it was so common in the 90s for people to say, "you stay tripping." So like, let's say if you play Street Fighter, you're tripping someone, you trip them, they'll say you stay tripping. Or if you play basketball and you always shoot, you don't pass, they'll say, damn, you stay shooting, pass the ball. They always say, you stay verb plus ing. It was so common, like, you stay crying. And I used to hate that. I never used it. I used to hate it as a kid, but it was common where I was from, but I didn't use that kind of language because it just sounded way too ignorant to me as a kid. And people picked up on it and they kind of made fun of me for it. They definitely did. They all kind of rubbed it in my face. My thing as a kid was I always wanted to be understandable to anybody. I always wanted to be understandable, so I always tried to pronounce my words as well as possible. Now, turns out I'm fucking making a living out of it, literally making a living out of it. Traveling the world just to talk. Literally making a living out of it. That's always what I tried to do. But now back to the topic. And I think another reason why we don't branch out much, besides the fact that we all think alike, we're all on the same track mind, we stay in the same circle. And the other reason I think is because that maybe we don't have certain resources. We may not have certain resources, like there's not many black hockey players. Well, there's not many ice hockey rinks in the hood. But even with that, I feel we lack determination, because if anybody wants to do something different, you want to be an ice hockey player, it's not hard to hop on a train and go somewhere that's like 25 minutes away on the train. So you can practice skiing. You know, or you could just play in a white boy community. I'm sure it's not going to be like, and this is like 2014, not like, oh, you can't play with us, you're black. Get the fuck out of here. Just try it out. Learn to ice skate and see if you can play, see if you like it. You get to fight. Maybe you like that. But just a lot of us just don't think outside of the circle. A lot of us think so similar, and it's usually around the whole hip hop, you know, it's usually around the whole hip hop culture. Like, we don't think outside of that too much, you know. There's not, like, let's say, for instance, let me give you an example. Let's say these dudes, the ones you just saw. Let's say one of them were to say some shit like, yo, man, let's learn Japanese. Let's like, for a year and a half, teach ourselves Japanese, learn Japanese, to make some funny videos on YouTube with us speaking Japanese. It'll be funny. That's new, you know. Most of them be like, yeah, nigga, that's whack. That's going to take too long, nah, 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 nah. Saying just things that stand out like that just sounds so strange to a lot of people from our communities, because they're not used to thinking outside the box. Now for some people, just hearing that, be like, sure, let's take some Japanese courses. If we can't afford the courses, let's teach ourselves, let's just work on it, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of the only people who, I was sitting there, I taught myself very well. I'm terrible at speaking Russian, I'm not gonna lie. But I taught myself very well within like, how long it take me to learn to read Russian? I would say maybe 7 months. I studied hard on how to read Russian. I just wanted to understand it. I didn't want to speak it. I love speaking English because I like having the image of a person who can speak well. You understand? So I like the odds of me speaking Russian, it won't be another, you won't hear it for another, like, well, I don't know, 3 years. I have to be able to speak Russian so well that you can barely hear an accent in order for me to speak it. I like being a talker. I like speaking well. So a lot of people are like, why I don't like speaking Russian? Because I'm not that good at it. You know, my image, I don't want to just be someone who can speak Russian. I want to be someone who can speak Russian very well. You understand? But I taught myself to read and to understand it. And it took about 7 months. And within 7 months, I was reading a lot of things. I can read anything on like, let's see, the average, I guess, I'd say first year in high school level, I can read in Russian. You know, I read Russian newspapers. I have to read Russian every day of Kontakte. You know, it's funny because I'm the black American, and in where I'm from, where I hang out with the Russians, the Russian Americans or the Ukrainian Americans, they can't read Russian at all. None of them can read Russian at all. They do not. Some of them can read Hebrew. They cannot read Russian at all. Not even a little bit. So when something's written in Russian, I have to pronounce it for them so they can know what it is. The black guy has to do it. I'll never forget that shit. And I remember one word, it was kuchnia. It was kitchen. And he was like, what is this? And I was like, you really want to know? It's funny because you're Ukrainian. He's like, come on, just tell me, what is it? I said, it says kuchnia. He goes, oh, that's kitchen. I'm like, yeah, you should learn how to read. If you speak Russian, there's a lot of Americans, just in case you Russian people don't know, there's a lot of Russian and Ukrainian Americans who can speak Russian and Ukrainian fluently, but can't read it for shit. There's a lot, they can't read it for shit. I think if you speak Russian or Ukrainian, it should only take you 2 days to learn how to read it. Just learn how to pronounce the letters, that's it. Once you learn how to pronounce the letters, as you read it, you will hear the words because you already know the language, you know. But back to the topic. And I don't know how to start getting us to branch out, to think outside the box, or because, you know, I've always been a person to think outside the box, and, you know, I'm from the same communities as these guys. But the vast majority of them are going to do the same thing, or something similar, or just end up at a dead-end job. And I feel we're so creative, we're so cool. Like this guy right here who ran away from the police. He could be on a B-League football team. This dude was nasty. You saw how he shook the first cop? And then I think the next one was a detective, because I couldn't really see, it was kind of blurry. He tried to grab him, he fell, he just kept going. He ran out of air because he doesn't train. But I think, besides it just looking funny, like he may have some actual potential to be a real football player if he used that energy in the right way instead of using it to run from the cops. He could use it to run from the 49ers. And I know that may sound crazy to people, but I just see that. That's just what I saw when I saw this clip. And it's just sad that odds are he's going to end up in jail instead of on a tour bus with his team. You know, I know it looks funny, this clip looks funny, but it's actually pretty fucking sad. The talent this young man has, and a lot of them probably have. But look at the professional camera they have. The camera they got, I guarantee you, is worth maybe 5 times the camera I have. Who do you think's doing more with their camera, me or them? Me! Their channel isn't getting many views. They stopped doing what they were doing because it didn't go anywhere. Because odds are they're doing the same shit other people in their communities were doing. We have to branch out. You know, there's many other sports. There's how many music groups, how many rock stars come from the hood? How many opera singers, how many ballet dancers? These things aren't common enough. We gotta really just learn to branch out as a people and start thinking independently. Let's not always do what this homie's doing, what this homie's doing, or what this person on TV who looks like me is doing. Let's try to look at other things around the world. Let's try to travel more. Let's try to speak different languages. Let's try to, not trying to say leave our culture, so to say. No, you can live in a black neighborhood, you can have a black family, none of that's a problem, but we should start doing different things. There should be, in every sport, at least one person every top 10 list should be black. Every sport. So there's not a top 10 hockey player, that means there's not enough of us in hockey. There's not a top 10 soccer player, there's not enough of us in soccer. Well, I won't even bother saying that with boxing, football, or basketball, because you know, we're all about it. But is there a top 10 swimmer in the Olympics from the American team? Maybe, maybe not. We gotta get to that more, you know what I mean? So, all I'm saying to this is, I just want us to branch out with our minds. You know, I just really want us to be, just not be so stereotypical, not so predictable. You know, I made a video about my homie Eli, like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about how this dude's a black dude from the hood, but he's a Hebrew. You know, he found Israel, I forgot how to say it. He found Judaism, whatever you call it. And he's a Jew now. You know, he's a Jew, but he still hangs out in the hood. He's still catching with earrings, but you know, he's trying to learn and follow the faith. He got his pilot license. He has an airplane. He goes around flying airplane and stuff like that. He does that for fun. He's also an actor. He's Tracy Morgan's double. You know, that's just a perfect example of just not doing what everyone else is doing. You know, ever since he was younger, he always just wanted to be a little different. So he branched out, doing things that no one else around him was doing, while staying in connection, while staying connected with those people he grew up with, without separating himself necessarily. He may live in a different neighborhood, but he keeps in contact with everyone, and he gives them inspiration to do something like he did, to branch out, be different. That will help our communities come up. We'll start getting money from different areas. We're all rushing trying to get money from the same area. There's not that much money to give, but if we're rushing to get money from different areas, there's a whole lot more money we can get. Then once we start getting this money, we just gotta learn to keep that money in our neighborhoods more. Because you know the difference between a black and a Jew, black neighborhoods, money comes in, goes out, quick. In a Jewish neighborhood, money comes in, builds up. That's usually how it is. I'm not trying to be racist, you guys know what I'm saying. So that's basically it, people. Let me know what you think. I'm out. Later.